Do you think we would be violating the rules of the House if we considered articles of impeachment before holding a minority day hearing? That point of order would be timely at a meeting where we considered such articles. It's not the purpose of today's hearing, and the point of order is not in order.
Mr. Chairman, since I've been implicated in this, I'd like to ask.
Without objection, all other opening statements will be included in the record.
Reserve my point of objection on that.
Okay, the point of objection.
I have a question. You brought my name into this.
Gentlemen.
You have brought my name into this.
The gentleman will suspend. The gentleman is recognized.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's telling me that you're considering something you have nothing to consider, and you have told me that, I'll admit on record, is nowhere close to actually following your duty as a chairman to follow the rules. And so I think the point of order is very well taken. I think the issue that we have is not, I think your timing is, show me please in the rule, have your parliamentarian show me in the rules where you come to a time of actually being able to deny this up at a certain point.
Bunch of bullshit.
Further reserving the right to object. As I have said, further reserving the right to object. As I have said, the point of order would be in order at the meeting where we are considering articles.
Further reserving the right to object.
We will now hear presentations.
Chairman, I appeal the decision of the chair.
There is no decision to appeal. There was not a ruling and a motion. We will now hear presentations.
Ruling on the point of order.
You made a ruling on the point of order.
You made a ruling on the point of order, Mr. Chairman. You can't then not allow us to appeal the ruling of the chair.
The gentleman will
You need to stick a gavel in his ass.
It was not a cognizable point of order. It was not a cognizable point of order. It was not in order at this time to make that point of order. There is no ruling to appeal.
But Mr. Chairman, its rule was the obligation, not consideration. You are
What's that somebody's break?
scheduled not to consider. He made a ruling.
What they do, you Republicans. They won't let them talk.
We are doing what we have to do under the rules. We will now hear presentations of evidence.
Mr. Chairman,
Gentleman is not recognized. We will now hear presentations of evidence.
I have a parliamentary inquiry.
I haven't removed my objection yet.
I will not recognize a parliamentary inquiry at this time. We will now hear presentations of evidence from counsel to the judiciary.
Is this when we just hear staff ask questions of other staff and the members get dealt
There
out
you
this
go.
whole hearing? And for the next 4 hours, you're going to try to overturn the result of an election with unelected people giving
Gentlemen will suspend. This hearing will be considered in an orderly fashion. The gentleman will not yell out, and he will not attempt to disrupt the proceedings. We will now hear presentations.
Well, they yelled out while good. You didn't stop it. Boy, it's Democrat though.
I've not removed my objection yet.
Barry Burke will present for the majority, and Steve O'Caster will present for the minority. Each of you will have 30 minutes to present. To help you stay within that time, there is a timing light on your table. When the light switches from green to yellow, you have 1 minute to conclude your testimony. When the light turns red, it signals.
I know why they call him Nutty and Nadler now.
You do realize I've never withdrawn.
Gentlemen will suspend.
I've not withdrawn my objection. You've not asked my talk to my objection.
Get him, boys.
Gentlemen will.
Yeah, I'm objecting to your opening statement comment. Nothing else.
Mr. Burke is recognized.
Steamroll continues.
Mr. Burke has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Collins, and all the members. Before I had the great honor of being a counsel for this committee, my young son asked me a question. He said, "Dad, does the president have to be a good person?" Like many questions by young children, it had a certain clarity, but it was hard to answer. I said, "Son, it is not a requirement that the president be a good person, but that is the hope. And it is not a requirement that the president be a good person. That is not why we are here today. That is not the issue. But the very document that created the awesome presidency and its powers that we have made clear it is a requirement that the president be a person who does not abuse his power. It is a requirement.
He didn't abuse his power.
The president be a person who does not risk national security
He
of this
didn't.
nation and the integrity of our elections
He didn't.
in order to further his own re-election prospects.
He didn't.
It is a requirement that the president not be a person who acts as though he is above the law in putting his personal and political interests above the nation's interests.
Where are these? They find these damn idiots.
That is the lesson of the founders. They were concerned that someone would be elected president who would use all the power of that office to serve his own personal interests at the expense of the people who elected him.
He
They
is.
decided there
He
needed
doing
to
better
be
than any
remedy
president
because
that's ever
they'd
been in there in my
suffered the
lifetime.
abuses of King George, where they had no remedy. The remedy they imposed was that
Hell, I think
if
my
a
mom and
president
dad's time.
commits a grave offense, a high crime or misdemeanor, this body has the power to impeach that president.
On what
They
ground?
wanted to ensure that a president could not serve his own interests over that of the nation.
He
It
hasn't.
flows from the very oath that all members of this body must take to support and defend the Constitution and bear true faith.
Just think,
and
this is
allegiance
all
to
our
the same.
taxpayer money paying for
And it's
this.
why we are here today.
I think the Democrats ought to have to pay back all the money
Are necessary.
that we have paid for this
But the
circus.
president's actions have left no choice. The founders were very clear in spelling out what they saw to be the greatest abuses that would raise the most concerns for our nation. They spelled them out as warning signals that if a president violated or committed one of these, that would be a reason to potentially impeach that president. They were abuse of power, betrayal of the national interest, corruption of elections. And what is so extraordinary is the conduct we're going to be talking about today of President Trump didn't violate one of these, but all three.
Bullshit.
First, the evidence is overwhelming that the president abused
Overwhelming.
by pressuring
Have you
Ukraine
not
and its new
watched
president
any of this?
to investigate
All the
a
witnesses?
political opponent. The evidence is overwhelming that the president abused his power.
Give me a freaking
by ramping
break,
up that
dude.
pressure, by conditioning a wanted White House meeting and a needed military.
Just remember,
aid that had been
people,
approved
vote all
in
these
order to get
Democrats
that
out.
president to investigate a political
They're nutty.
It is
All of them,
clear
I promise.
and overwhelming that in abusing that power, the president betrayed the national interest by putting his own political prospects
I've never
over
seen
the national
such.
security of our country. It is clear that the president risked
Something
corrupting
wrong with him.
elections by inviting foreign interference to knock out an adversary to help his prospects in re-election.
And I want to hear your comments
It is
about
why
this.
in the
Good or
beginning
bad
of
or
the
against me, I don't
Constitution,
care.
James Madison warned that because the presidency was to be administered by a single man, his corruption might be fatal. to the
Corruption,
republic.
my ass. He's got our country on the right track, you moron.
So clear. Supported by documents, actions, sworn testimony,
Yeah, of
uncontradicted,
nothing.
contemporaneous records.
Hearsay.
Imagine that anybody
Records.
could dispute
Hearsay. I heard it from Joe. Joe heard it from John. John heard it from Kathy. Kathy heard it from Jill. Jill heard it
It's a
from
big deal. President Trump,
Doris. Doris heard
what
it
a
from
president of our nation
Jackie.
is not allowed to do. It is why
Jackie heard it
last
from
week,
Gates.
the constitutional
Hell, I need to write a song.
Michael Gerhardt said, if what we're talking about is not impeachable,
Sorry, guys. Just pissing me off.
then nothing is impeachable. President Trump's actions are impeachable offenses. They threaten our rule of law.
Yeah, my dog can
They
do better than they
threaten our
can.
institutions. And as James Madison
I need to
warned us,
run.
they threaten our republic. Let
Shit.
me begin where we must, with the facts and evidence. First, it's important to understand why Ukraine was so important to our national security. Ukraine was under attack by its aggressive and hostile neighbor, Russia. They had already encroached on its territories. The Ukraine was at great risk that Russia would again take further territorial try. Europe had a stake in this, and so did we. I'm going to turn to an expert on this, Ambassador Taylor, who is one of the most highly decorated diplomats and recognized diplomats for over 40 years.
Yeah.
Our country
He got a little bow tie on.
President Trump himself to be in charge of the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine.
The Russians are violating
Oh, no, he ain't the one with the bow tie. I'm sorry.
treaties, understandings that they committed to that actually kept the peace in Europe.
See, they just want to show clips of what they want to hear. Don't show the whole damn thing. Bunch
Rule
of
of law,
idiots.
that order that kept the peace in Europe and allowed for prosperity.
I want y'all to call me, and I need something to talk about.
Violated by the Russians. It affects the world that we live in, that our children will grow up in, and our grandchildren. This affects the